There's a ton of retro-inspired indie titles out there, and there's a new one called Elliot Quest now out on the PS4, but is this a quest that's worth completing, or is this a journey that shouldn't even begin? Elliot Quest is a good example of a retro-style game that does a good job with what it's trying to do. The game's kind of a mix of elements from Metroid, Zelda, particularly Zelda 2, and even Kid Icarus. In the game, you're playing as Elliot, who's armed with a bow and arrow with an unlimited supply of arrows, and your job is to slay plenty of monsters and complete lots of different dungeons. The overall combat using the bow and arrow is a bit sluggish at first, but you do earn experience for slaying monsters, and then can level up and get stat points, which you can input in one of many different categories that will increase your rapid fire of speed, the amount of criticals you're able to deal, or the amount of distance you're able to cover with each arrow shot. One minor annoyance is you do actually lose experience every time you end up dying. You'll go back to the previous checkpoint, which thankfully there are a lot of them, but you end up losing that little bit of experience. Thankfully you can't drop in level though, so once you make it to that next level, you won't be able to go down again. The game features a world map that you get to travel and go to various areas. There's a bunch of main dungeons, but also side areas for you to complete as well. A lot of times you'll have to complete the side areas in order to get certain items that you'll then use in the dungeons in order to explore them. When it comes to the core dungeons of the game, they're very Zelda-esque, where you have to find small keys, a boss key, a map, and usually one item per dungeon that will end up aiding you as far as your exploration goes. This includes stuff like wings that you'll be able to double jump, or pendants so that you'll be able to push rocks out of the way. There's also spells that you'll be able to earn, and these spells will take a little bit of your magic meter, which thankfully you're always getting more bits so that you'll be able to fill that magic meter back up. But this includes like the tornado that can suck in enemies or pull stuff towards you, as well as being able to go through certain platforms, as well as fireballs so that you'll be able to light torches, and of course light up your enemies as well. Of course, at the end of dungeons, and sometimes in other areas, you will have to fight some bosses. And a lot of these even remind me of classic bosses from older games, but they're done well here, and they're an enjoyable fight for sure. Graphically, while it's nothing we haven't seen before, I do like a lot of the sprite work here. There's just something about some of the enemy designs and the overall appearance of some of the areas that I particularly ended up liking. One area in particular, though, that I didn't like was this one rainy forest area that constantly kept flashing with lightning that was meant to basically blind you for a second so you couldn't see what was going on, but just ended up causing a headache after a long period of time of being there. From the technical side of things, the game ran fine. It didn't run any major glitching, crashing, or slowdown of any sort. Elliot Quest is available now for $14.99 for the PS4 and Xbox One, and if you're on the PS4, it does feature a full trophy list including a Platinum. The game's also been available on the Wii U and PC. Overall, Elliot Quest is one of those retro games that is worth checking out when you get the opportunity to do so. I like the elements that reminded me of Zelda, Metroid, and especially Kid Icarus, which is never a bad thing. The game is also a little bit longer than I actually expected it to be, and does feature a new game plus as well. With everything said, I'm going to be giving Elliot Quest a 7 out of 10. But anyway guys, that's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course I hope you enjoyed.